This video is sponsored by Keeper Security. Okay folks, welcome back to the channel here. In today's video, we are taking another look at Apple's iPad 2025. This is also known as the iPad 11, also as the iPad A16. Now, if you happen to be in the market for an iPad and you're not really sure whether to pick up maybe the iPad Air and potentially even considering the Pro, I would say take a quick peep at this guy here before pulling the trigger. In this video, we're going to talk about why the iPad 11 here might just be the smartest buy you make this year in 2026. Let's go ahead and jump in. First things first, let's go ahead and talk about the design of this guy here. And I want to start off with that because that's going to cover how it's been holding up for the past almost year, right? This guy here released in March of 2025. 10 months in, this guy here is holding up very, very well. This is a very nice build. Of course, if you are at all familiar with iPads or the iPad line specifically, then you probably noticed that it looks just like the iPad 10. There are some very subtle physical changes here, not a lot for you to quickly notice, but it looks just like the iPad 10, so it's a very familiar look. It's been holding up very well. It's a very nice build. It's a robust tablet here. In fact, it's so well built, it doesn't even feel like a budget tablet. Anyways, mine here doesn't have any scratches, any dings, or none of that stuff. So if you were to pick up this guy here after about a year, you shouldn't expect anything bad to happen to it. This is of course assuming that you maintain your devices well. So that's as far as the design goes. What we have here is an 11-inch tablet. This is pretty standard, right? So this would be your typical average size of the tablet here. So it's not too big, in a way where it bothers you, where it's bothersome if you were to pick up and go. But at the same time, it's not too small where it feels like a phone in your hands, right? So you can easily drop this in your backpack and you're ready to go. Or if you're just lounging, just lay on the couch, watching a movie or whatever the case may be, this would be just the ideal size. And speaking of the size, I mentioned that this is an 11-inch tablet. 11 inches would be for the display here, diagonally. What you have here is an IPS display. IPS, it's a liquid retina IPS display, as Apple likes to label it. Resolution here, very nice. Dynamic range, pretty decent. Colors do pop here, and it's also very bright at up to 500 nits. That is really nice when it comes down to watching movies, navigating the internet, checking your emails, even gaming here. The only thing, or the only con about the display here is the fact that what you have here is a non-laminated display. So if you were to put it at an angle, you can see that there is a top glass right above the actual display below there. Now, it's not something that bothers people in general, but it's easily noticeable and it could get annoying at times, right? But anyway, so the display here is very nice. It's been holding up very well. I haven't had any issues watching movies here, gaming here, navigating the internet, and just using it as a day-to-day, tablet. Performance, of course, this is loaded with a Bionic A16 chip, very powerful for something that is set to be in the budget category. So when you put this side by side with your typical, Galaxy Tab S10 FE, for example, it just blows that thing out the water, right? This is a very powerful tablet given the category that it is in. When I first picked up the tablet, iPadOS 26 wasn't out yet, so multitasking was very limited. In fact, I was still recommending that people pick up the Galaxy Tab S10 FE rather than picking up this one, because the S10 FE, for those of you who like to multitask, that is a better choice. But since the launch of iPadOS 26, this tablet has been taken to the next level. You see, when the iPad 11 here first dropped, it wasn't meant to be a pro tablet or even a mid-range. It was just meant to be a basic or base level tablet. But nowadays, with running iPadOS 26, it makes you question why you would even consider an iPad Air, or even in certain situations, why would you even consider an iPad Pro? Certain situations only. Anyways, this is my way of saying that iPadOS 26 has made this tablet so good that I would even tell people who are currently considering the iPad Air to go ahead and pick up the iPad 11 here. It is just that good. By the way, and some of you may know this already, but there is one app I install on every single new device, and that's the Keeper app. The moment I log in, all of my accounts are there. Apps, websites, work logins instantly. No password resets, no hunting through notes, no forgot password emails. Over 4 million users worldwide trust Keeper, and it has more than 300,000 5-star reviews across app stores. So if you are setting up a new phone, a new tablet, or laptop, start with the proper password management. It saves time and keeps you safe every single day. Check out Keeper and use my special discount code, IvanCam50, all in one word. That way you can save 50% off when you sign up. Anyways, moving on to the camera here. This is a typical tablet camera. You shouldn't expect for this to be anything amazing. This is good for scanning documents. The camera here is a 12 megapixel. What you have on the back here is 12 megapixel, and on the front you have another 12 megapixel lens. The front camera is actually pretty good and also has that center stage where if you are, let's say, video calling with grandma and you have another person joining the call with you so that grandma can see the person, what the camera does is it zooms out so that it can let more people in. It does so, and it adjusts to keep everyone within the frame. That is a pretty neat feature there. So that's as far as camera goes. When it comes down to battery is still good. We are almost a year in, and I can tell you that I'm still seeing the entire day with the battery here. Now, you have to keep in mind that battery usage is going to be subjective, or battery life, I should say, is subjective, because people use tablets differently, or people use their devices differently. Personally, as a power user, I'm able to go the entire day with the battery here. So roughly 7 hours of SOT, right? Meaning if you use it properly, you should be able to see the entire day if you're a power user. Now, if you're not a power user, you may even see a couple of days out of this guy here. And almost a year in, I should say, battery is still good. Another thing that I forgot to mention about this tablet is that the base one now comes with 128 gigs of internal storage. That is, of course, tagged with 6 gigs of RAM, which is pretty good, pretty decent for multitasking. I wish it could go more, but it is Apple. What do you expect? Anyway, so 128 gigs of internal storage plus 6 gigs of RAM. That is plenty for you to be able to do everything that this, iPad was meant to do. You also have the ability to go for the 256 gigs or 512 gigs if you prefer. Those would be the configs that you have there. Now, this is not a review of this tablet. I've actually made plenty of reviews of the iPad 11 here, and I've also made versus videos or battle videos between this and the Tab S10 FE. I believe the S9 FE also. I've made a few battle videos, so check those out if you like to learn more about the iPad 11 here. The reason I'm making this video is just to remind you that if you did not take advantage of some of the deals that were running back, during Black Friday or, even Christmas deals, there's still time to pick up this guy. I was looking at the Best Buy website and I noticed that this guy here is on sale. So make sure to check out that website. In fact, I'm going to have some links in the description for you. I'm going to do the research for you and have some links that will route you to some of the best deals you can find on the iPad 11 here. So if you are, this is just me recapping, if you are a student, if you are a small business owner, or if you're just looking for an iPad that you can use for casual use, let's just say it like that, this would be a pretty nice pickup for you, especially if you are already in the ecosystem. So if you already have an iPad or if you have a MacBook or something like that, this would be a pretty nice addition to that. Anyways, I'm certainly hoping that this was informative. As I mentioned, this is not a full review of this guy. If you need to watch the full review, if you want to learn more about the iPad itself, make sure to check out some of the videos or some of the links that I have that would route you to my full review of the iPad 11 here. Let me know what any questions you may have in the comments section. Make sure to share this video if you know anyone who will be interested. I'm certainly hoping that this was informative. Make sure to like also and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. I am going to catch you in the comment section. I'm also going to catch you in the next video. Up until that next video, of course, as always, stay safe out there.